Letting go of someone you loved is one of the most challenging experiences you will ever go through in life. And even when the relationship has reached a point where you know there's no future with this person, it doesn't take away the pain of letting them go or the work you're going to have to do to get through this. So this video is here to support anyone who's going through this right now. I'm going to share with you how I've gotten through some of the most challenging breakups in my life and the tools I share with my clients to help them navigate this experience. Make sure you watch this video all the way through to the end because the tools I'm sharing here are not only going to help you get through this, but they're going to allow you to increase your confidence and attract higher quality people on the other side of this experience. Before we get started, please subscribe to the channel and hit that bell so you get notified about new videos as they're released. And at the end of this video, leave a comment to let me know how it landed for you and what you got from it. Thanks so much for watching with me today. I'm excited to have you here. I'm inspired to share what's on my heart to help you as you navigate this difficult experience and sending you lots of love as you heal. So let's go ahead and let's jump in. Now, the first thing you want to recognize here is that you're not letting go of something you actually want. You're letting go of something you don't want. Now, I know even as I say that, you might go like, what the hell are you talking about? I want this person and I can't have them, and that's why I'm suffering right now. So hear me out on this because I'm going to break this down for you. Okay, if this was what you actually wanted, the relationship would not be ending, right? The reason it's ending is because there are things that fundamentally don't work, that fundamentally would not work long term. And so the reason you're letting this relationship go is because it's actually something you don't want. Now, I know some of you might say, well, Shane, that's not true. They broke up with me. I want them and I can't have them, and that's the problem. Well, I would like you to consider that you don't actually want somebody who doesn't want you. Like when you imagine your partner and you imagine finding that person and you imagine what your life would be like together and how it would be and the way you would be with each other and the things you would do and the life you would have. And when you imagine that, in every version of that, that person wanted to be with you, right? There was no version of that where you imagined, oh, they didn't want me and I had to chase them all over town, right? No, in every version of that, they wanted to be with you. So the very fact that this person is ending the relationship with you means that you don't want them because you want someone who wants you. Now, I know that might be difficult to grasp right now, especially if you're really struggling with this. And it might take you some time to grow into that. But I would like you to consider that right now you're not letting go of something you want. You're letting go of something you don't want. You're letting go of something that wouldn't work. You're letting go of something that ultimately would not make you happy. It's not the person that you want to keep because it never would have worked with that person. But what you're struggling with is letting go the idea you had about this person, the dreams that you had, the thoughts and the images and the emotions you felt around all of it, of what this person would be to you, of the life that you would have together, of the way it would all play out, of the possibility that they were the one who was going to make it all come true, right? And you attached a lot into this and you invested a lot of emotion into this. So you wrapped up a lot around this person that wasn't actually about them, right? You and that person were not actually compatible, but in your mind, you created a lot of ideas around the person that made it seem like you were compatible. And so what you're going through right now is disconnecting the ideas you've had about this person from the reality of who they are. Recognizing the ideas you have about this person are not the actual fact of who this person is. And the actual reality of who this person is somebody you don't want. Because if it was, you wouldn't be ending it right now. You would not be breaking up right now. If this was something you actually wanted, you would be moving forward with it right now. And they would also be moving forward with it right now. Now, I know this might take a little time to grow into. It may not all seem so clear and so obvious right off the bat, but if you can begin to consider this and you can begin to open up to this, you can start to create some space for this awareness to become more and more real for you. And that's the first step to letting this go. Now, the next thing I want to say is that essentially what's happening here is that you're grieving a loss. It's not that different than if a loved one or a family member were to die and you would have to grieve that loss. Like, this is very similar. It is a real loss. And you are going through a very similar process as if that were to happen. So one of the biggest challenges I see people having when they're going through a breakup or going through a loss like this is they don't give themselves the space to grieve. We beat ourselves up and why am I still caught up on this? And why can't I just move on? And what's wrong with me? And we get overwhelmed with the fear that like, if I'm always like this, I'm never going to find someone and it's never going to happen for me. And we put this pressure on ourselves to like move on faster than we're ready to. And sometimes we want to go jump into another relationship right away. And I want to say that all of these ways of coping are not exactly healthy, and they actually delay the grieving process. So what I would encourage you to do right now is give yourself the space to grieve. And there are several stages of grief. There's denial and anger and bargaining and all the way up to acceptance. And I'm not going to go one by one through the stages of grief right now. But what I want to say is there are these stages and you need to go through them. And you can't exactly rush the process. You can't exactly hit the fast forward button on the grief cycle. Like you've got to go through all the steps of this. And what I would encourage you to do is to really give yourself permission to do that, to go through each of these steps and to not push yourself to be better than you are right now or to have it, to make everything get better so fast. Like actually give yourself some time to have this experience and feel what you're feeling. Give yourself this season of your life to really dive into these feelings that are coming up for you and let these feelings teach you about yourself. This would be a really great time to work with a therapist or to work with a coach, to have somebody who can help you explore these things and really understand what is being revealed to you about yourself in this period of your life. These experiences are very rich in terms of the growth they can provide for us. And when we try to avoid the experience by jumping right into another relationship or forcing ourselves to move on or beating ourselves up or whatever, when we avoid the experience, we don't get the lessons from it. And then likely what happens is we end up creating the same stuff again and again and again in our lives. But when we can really take this season of our lives to go through this experience wholeheartedly, to learn from it, to grow through it, to be better on the other side of it, this experience will transform you. And on the other side of it, every aspect of your life will look completely different. And what you see possible for yourself in terms of the life and the love you really want to have will seem completely different. So I know this feels like an incredible challenge right now, but it can truly be an incredible gift if you use this time to work with someone and to learn about yourself and to grow through this and become better on the other side. If you avoid and repress the experience, your life is going to look the same and you will probably find yourself in this exact same position a year from now. Now, as you move through this experience step by step, day by day, and giving yourself time and giving yourself space to feel this, what you're going to have the opportunity to do is to little by little start building your vision of a relationship in the future. And I would suggest journaling. I would suggest maybe speaking with friends or listening to podcasts or reading books. But, anything that you can do in this time to really help yourself clarify a healthy vision of love and what you really want love to look like and feel like for you in your future. And what you can do during this time as your heart starts to heal and you start to put the pieces back together is you can start to really create a really amazing, solid vision of the love you want to have in your life. And if you're doing this right, what you'll start to see is that the relationship you're leaving behind doesn't really match up to this vision, right? You're going to start to see that when you really clarify the vision of how you want it to be and how you want it to feel and the kinds of things you'll do together and the way you'll speak to each other and the way you'll hold each other and the way you'll, treat each other and all of this, like when you really start to clarify this, and you really start to feel it deeply and you start to get connected to it, you will start to see that the relationship you're leaving behind doesn't live up to this vision. And what's going to happen as you make this vision bigger and bolder and brighter is this relationship is going to more and more fade into the past for you. It's going to more and more start to fade into the background because you're starting to set your sights on something clear and beautiful. And there's going to be an excitement around that and a desire in you to want to walk towards that. And that's going to have you leave this old relationship in the past. Like the more excited you get about that new relationship, the more pale and empty this old relationship is going to look to you. So yes, you want to fuel that with, like I said, books or podcasts or creating a vision board and it also depends on where you are. Like in the beginning stages, It might be more beneficial for you to really work with a therapist or work with a coach to really get in touch with your feelings and do some deeper work on what's coming up for you. But then as you move through some of that and you get into these later stages, you really want to start looking to the future. You really want to start considering a vision for your life and a vision for love and how you want to piece this together and how you want it to feel and how you want it to be. And if you're doing the work in the first part of the process, this second part of the process is going to come very easily and very naturally for you. You will just naturally grow into that. So I would say start by getting some support to help you work through this in a conscious way, and then move forward from that by growing into a new experience of life and love that you want to have. And the last thing I would say about this is you really want to surround yourself with good people who love and care about you, and surround yourself with positive influences otherwise. So what you watch on TV, what you listen to the radio, like all the stuff, like you really want to just, during this time, surround yourself with loving and healing energy. If you're constantly surrounded by negative people, negative visions on TV, negative, emotions or energy that's being shared around you in the music and things you listen to, like if you're constantly surrounding yourself with this, it's going to perpetuate that low vibrational state. But if you surround yourself with positive, loving, inspiring, uplifting material, it's going to help you grow in that direction. The simple truth is that there's just no magic pill you can take to heal grief. Anybody who's been through it will tell you it takes time. It really does take time for you to go through these stages and process this experience to truly let it go. And since there's no way to avoid the grief, the only choice you have is how you're going to go through it. Are you going to go through it consciously, with awareness, learning and growing and coming out the other side of it better? Or are you going to resist it? Are you going to fight it? Are you going to repress it and come out the other side exactly the same to go create the same thing again in your life? That is the real choice you have right now. And I would say from the bottom of my heart, take this opportunity to get to know yourself on a whole new level, to grow into a whole new experience of who you can be, the life you can live, and the love you can have. And find a trusted coach or a therapist who can guide you in that process. If you'd like to look at working with me, you can look at those opportunities at thelivingrelationship.com, and I'd be very happy to speak with you. But whether you work with me or you work with someone else, find someone you trust and someone who's committed to your growth and your success, who can guide you through this process so you can really get the most benefit from it, so you can learn the most about yourself and life and love, and come out of this ready to attract a partner who's going to be truly committed to you, where you can have the life and love that you truly, truly deserve to have. I know that it is so challenging to be where you are right now. I have been there many times in my life, and I'm just sending you so much love as you go through this and you grow through this and you heal and you become the new you who's going to be on the other side of it. So thank you so much for being with me today, sending you so much love in your healing process. Again, please subscribe to the channel, hit the bell, drop a comment, let me know your thoughts. And if you know someone who could benefit from this video, please share it with them. Thanks so much for being with me today, sending you lots of love, and I'll see you back here in my next video. All the best, many blessings. Take care.